Hello dear students, good morning. Today we will learn how reproduction in Protista takes place. Okay, so generally Protista reproduce asexually, by some Protista reproduce sexually also. Okay, so basically there are two type of reproduction takes place in Protista, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So when we will talk about asexual reproduction, it having following types, that is by fission, by cyst formation, by spores, or by budding. Okay, but when we will talk about sexual reproduction, so by the formation of gametes or by conjugation. Is it clear? So we will start with sexual reproduction. It is a rapid method of multiplication which involve only one parent, means a single parent plays a role. Okay, and the young one produces asexually, have the same genetic constitution as that of the parents, are called as clones. Okay, so that parents is known as clones means or we can say an extra copy of plant and animal that produces only of its cells, means they only produce their cell. Okay, so that is clone. Now, so we having four types of asexual reproduction. So we'll start with fission. Okay, by fission. So in this type of asexual reproduction, the cell of Protista divides into two equal parts. Okay, that through the by the process by the help of mitosis division. Okay, so the division may be transverse or longitudinal, right? So in this process, each daughter cell develop into a mature cell. Okay, and sometime the mother cell divided rapidly to form a new cell. Okay, so this is called multiple fission, as you can see in this picture also, you know. So this is known as by fission. Okay, so next we having by cyst formation. Okay, on the approaches of unfavorable condition, especially when water dries up in the habitat of Protista, means in this situation when water dries, it can secrete thick resistance wall, that is called cyst. Okay, so Protista cyst can be compared with the endospores of the bacteria. Okay, so the vegetative cell become spherical and get dehydrated, and that develop a thick wall to form cyst. So during encysted periods, the cell become metabolically inert, or when the condition become favorable, cyst absorb water and active organisms come out from the cyst. Okay, so that called cyst are discharges from the feces which contaminate water and food and return to the human by taking surface and food as water. Clear? So you can see by the help of this diagram also. This is called asexual reproduction by cyst formation. This is the example of amoeba. Okay, so here you can see. Now next we having by spores. Okay, so in some Protista, spores are formed for asexual reproduction. So on germination, each spores give rises to a new individual. That is, we can take example of slime molds. Okay, now next we having by budding. Okay, so budding, as we all know that some Protista reproduce asexually by budding. So during budding, a small outgrowth develop, right, as we have already seen in the example of hydra, right? So in the same way we can see, so in this pattern, this individual rises and develop a new individual by the help of budding. So this is about your asexual reproduction. Now we will talk about sexual reproduction. So on the basis of features that differentiated Protista from bonites in the presence of sexual reproduction in them. So basically it involved the formation of haploid, that is N means single gamete. Okay, so it is followed by their fusion through which diploid, that is 2n number of chromosomes is established. So you can just look at this cycle. This is sexual reproduction in Protista. So we will start with the we will start with this single N, that is gametes, that is N. Okay, so when they get fertilized and converted into diploid zygote. Okay, so after the help of which process, the mitosis process, it grows and form a adult, that is 2N, है ना, diploid number of cell. This is called sexual reproduction in Protista. So we will also talk about the life cycle of Protista. So basically we having two life pattern, okay, but the sequence of event between any given fishes in one generation and the similar fishes in the next generation continues the life cycle. Okay, so we having two type. The first is haplontic pattern and next we having diplontic. Okay, so what happen in haplontic? In this mode of life cycle, adults have haploid set, that is n number of chromosome. During sexual reproduction, they produce haploid gamete by mitosis. Okay, again mitosis takes place. Just look at this cycle. Okay, so in the first, this is a haploid, that is single number of cells. So after the process takes place, a sexual reproduction. Okay, so the haploid gamete by mitosis, these gamete are identical in size and shape, hence they are called isogamete. Okay, so two haploid gamete fuses to form diploid 2N zygote, means after the fusion they form 2 zygote. Okay, 2N matlab diploid zygote. Okay, so this type of sexual reproduction is called isogamous, and this zygote undergoes meiosis to produce 4 haploid cell. You can see in the next, they produces 4 number of cells, right? So for example, this zygote produces 4 number of cell which grows to form 4 haploid individual. That is the life cycle. You can see here chlamydomas. Okay, this is the life cycle. So you can see in this life cycle. Okay, so since meiosis occurs in zygote, this life cycle is called zygotic meiosis. Clear? Now in the same way we having diplontic pattern. So in diplontic pattern, what happens during sexual reproduction? 2N, that is the diploid number of individual produces haploid gamete. Okay, by the process of meiosis cells division, है ना, and that they fuses with the diploid zygote, that is 2N. Okay, and this diploid zygote grows to form a adult cell. For example, we having this life cycle. Yes, see this picture clearly. Okay, so by the help of this we can understood what is diplontic. Now next we having is diplontic, uh, yes, diplontic pattern. Okay, so just थोड़ा सा देखते हैं. Diplontic pattern, in this mode of life cycle, adults are both the type, that is haploid as well as diploid. Okay, so both can reproduce by a sexual method independently. So haploid cells fuses together to form diploid zygote, and which grows to form diploid individual and at last divided by meiotic division to form a haploid cell. Okay, so which grows to form a haploid adult. Okay, and this haploid adult again fuses to form diploid organism. In this way the life cycle continues. Okay, so see here the life cycle, you can see this is the diplontic life cycle of, and next we having, see this haplontic, diplontic and diplontic. Okay, yes, so this is about the reproduction.